Hello everybody and welcome back to Operation Logistics, where our coverage map mode here is really broken, and the reason is because we basically set it up in such a way that this is assuming that we are in the building hex manager setting this up. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this out of here. So our int3 position is not really fine, but we're going to want to essentially call this. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking right now. We're going to want to recurse this and return some sort of a value. So essentially we would do like if building hex manager, so let's go with hex manager dot building hex manager dot populate buildings is currently void. We're going to go with, well, we don't actually know yet, right? We don't know what subhex we have selected. So we just need to know if there is a root within here for this. But for right now, let's go over, let's just comment this out for right now. And let's go over to our building hex manager, which is the sub hex manager. In the populate buildings, we should create a function here to do something along the lines of color building hexes. Okay, and then we're going to need a function down here. And we're going to need to know what map mode we're in, but that's okay. So we'll make this be a private void for right now. Color building hexes. Okay. Then we are going to need to paste this in for right now. This isn't obviously going to work, but I'm going to comment this out. So the reason we're doing this is just because I want to have access to this code. Okay. So with this, I think we can. We're calling color building hexes. We need to know what map mode we're in. So we need to go to our subhex manager here. And we basically need to copy this. And I'm just going to copy it. I'm not going to cut it. And then we will go into our building hex manager. Like that. Okay. So obviously we don't have a hex manager. I think it's called manager here. We might just rename that. These are all the prefabs. Does this actually not know about the hex manager? That's super awkward, and it should. Okay. Public hex manager. Hex manager. Okay, and let's go in and assign that while we're thinking about it. Oh, come on. It won't compile yet. Yeah. Get out of there. Okay, we're just going to have to comment this out to get this to compile. About like that. Also, apologies if you're hearing thumping. I think the kitten is currently tearing the house apart. I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, there is an error? There is an error. Okay. It's because this is commented. Gotcha. Let's just move this here. There we go. Okay, come on, compile. There we go. Okay, now we can set up our building hexes to know about the hex manager, which would go there. Okay, so now we know that. and we can decomment all of this, and we can start working on all of this. So for int I equals 0, I is less than subhexes.count, I++. So our subhexes is our list of building hex. That's fine. And then this int 3 is actually completely correct. So subhexes I.biome equals biome hexes I.biome. That's not going to be a thing. We are going to need to know what biome we're in, though. So we can just get rid of that. That's fine. And then we need to switch our map mode. So hex manager.business.mapmode .current map mode. Okay. So in the default map mode, we're just going to color hex default pretty much, which we do need to copy over pretty much verbatim, actually. So let's go over to the subhex manager, and we are going to copy over color hex default and multiply color. We're going to need both of those functions. There we go. And then down here, let's see. We don't have the position because this needs to be down here, and the cats are just going nuts. It's kind of obnoxious. Okay, so subhexes I.biome, obviously we don't have, but what we do have is we have hex manager.selected subhex.biome. And then this is building hex, but that's okay. Building hex to color. And that should just work. Excellent. So we're going to need to replace subhexes I.biome with hex manager.selected subhex.biome in a couple of locations here. Like that. Okay. So this here is going to need to go within this. Like so. And what does that break? Anything? I think we're good. And realistically, I think for right now, I'm going to get rid of that. Okay. So is this going to work? I would be surprised. I'll put it that way. I just want to know how broken it is. Now, the subhex manager here... Oh, we actually didn't save this. We should do that. Okay, the subhex manager here, I just want to check what this is set to do. Basically nothing. That's good. That's the way we like it. Okay. Sounds good. So we're going to have to create a few more functions, I think. But let's go ahead and test this null reference exception immediately again. That should have happened. Yeah. We get rid of that. I don't think we even need that position calculation anyway. So let's give that a go. Okay, that's better. It's basically what we expect, I suppose. Okay, so it's all returning magenta. Interesting. Why is it returning magenta in default map mode? That's a good question. One thing we should do is in the default map mode for the populate biomes, we should color hex default. And this would be subhexes I dot set overlay. Hang on. No, just subhexes I. And then we would pass in our biome. So that would be subhexes I.biome, and then we don't even need to pass anything else in because we're in default map mode. And then we should probably do the same thing with the building hexes for the default map mode. So where is it? It's in subhex manager. We actually are. Color hex default. And we pass in... Wait, this is the subhex manager. We want the sub-subhex manager. There we go. This is why I renamed it. It's a little too confusing. So we want to go ahead and pass this in here. And we want to be, instead of doing this, we want to do hex manager.selected subhex.biome. Okay. And then maybe like random.range 0.1. Random.range. We'll do like 1f plus random.range of negative 0.1, 0.1. Just give it a little variation here. And then we need, I believe, a second parenthetical. Yes, indeed. Okay, and I'm actually going to do this same thing for the map mode in here. I mean, well, here's the thing. It's going to be changing because of this random.range. I'm actually just going to get rid of that. We might come back to that later. I do want there to be some variation there like we had before, but it's going to be different every time you regenerate the map mode, and I don't necessarily want that. Okay, so we head on in here. That's a good sign. We head on in here. That's a good sign too. Then we go into coverage map mode, and it just remains this, which is exactly what we expected it to do. But then, what if we purchase this storefront, and we create a route, and we select the route, and we add a waypoint, say, right here. Like that. And then we do default, and then coverage again. Okay, so you can see here that it's, the coverage map mode isn't doing what I expected it to do. That is to say, it's not doing anything at all. Which makes me think that it's just coloring the hex default for some reason that I'm not aware of as of yet. So let's try to figure out why exactly it would be doing that. So if the route contains the position, we're iterating through every route. If the route contains the position, then we do this. Otherwise, we're going to iterate through hexmanager.selectedWorldHex.biome hexes of hexmanager.selected_subhex.hexindex.neighbors i.count. And then if it's in that neighbor list, okay, this is going to be the problem, I'm pretty sure. Let's go ahead and comment this out and see if the coverage map mode works just for the path that the route is on. Am I going to have to completely restart this? I think I might. Yeah, argument out of range exception. So let's see if this works then. So let's go ahead and land management, buy land, confirm, create route, select the route. We're heading up this direction, and then down to like here. Sure, why not? And then we go into coverage map mode, and it doesn't work. Of course, ownership and demand don't do anything, but the coverage map mode should be doing something here. So position equals this here. If we're in coverage map mode, then we go through all of our routes and check to see if the pathInt3 contains our position. If it does, we color hex default. I'm guessing it's working, but that this isn't. That's what I'm guessing is happening. Let me look up real quick. Unity, color 32, multiply. Let's see here. Because this is in a byte format. It can be implicitly converted to and from color. So, let's see. I do want to use color 32, but it can be implicitly converted. So what we could do is we could say color 2 equals color, like this, and then color 2 equals color 2 times multiply, and then just return color 2, since it can be implicitly converted. Would that work? That might work. I'm willing to bet this is going to break again with the recompile. Well, it didn't seem to work, but we also got a million argument out of range exceptions, so we'll see. Okay, we'll come on in here, buy land here, confirm, demolish that. We don't need to demolish it, I suppose. Select the route. We're going to go up here, then over here, then down here. Sounds good. Okay, and then we will go into coverage map mode. And yeah, it just doesn't work. Okay, well, I need to put a cut in here. Next episode, we'll try to figure out why this coverage map mode isn't quite working according to plan. Subscribe for more, and I will see you all next time.